Hi, I'm MAK.
And I'm Courtney. Welcome to 2MC.
It's the place to be every week where we talk about all things local government, happenings, events, board meetings, stuff like that.
Yeah, speaking of board meetings, we just had one this week.
We did. We had a big meeting this week. Lots of cool stuff to talk about.
Yes, one of those would be our
Evaluation and
Report?
Appraisal Report.
Yes, that one.
So that is something that growth management works on every 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
It is dictated by state statute, and when there are changes made at the state level, those have to be reflected in our comprehensive plan.
Yeah. So they have to have 3 hearings, 3 public hearings.
Right.
And once they get all of the amendments put together, they have to send a complete packet
A complete packet to the state.
Yes, by November 27th. So that's what they're working on now. And
So a question for you.
yeah,
After that packet is sent, is that it? That's done?
no.
Okay.
So once that packet is sent, the state actually sends it back with their changes or comments, reviews, anything like that. And then it goes back to our board for a final decision. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Fantastic process.
I mean,
Well, no, I ask because there have been some questions, and even in the board meeting this week, some residents were saying, "Hey, I know you've got new board members coming in. Let's just wait and let them learn all about it."
Yeah.
But the new board members, will have a chance to learn all about it and hear it when they're in office.
right. Yeah. And honestly, this review has been going on since 2023.
It's a long process.
So it's a long process. And like I said, the final will be once actually, so our new commission would be in,
Great.
I would think.
Yep. I know. I want to talk about something else
Okay. What
that
do you want to
happened
talk
in the board
about?
meeting. There was an update on Brightline.
Oh, yes, there was.
Yeah, our county administrator, Don Donaldson, gave a brief update. We've been continuing negotiations with Brightline, and he talked to the board about going out with an RFP, or request for proposal,
Yeah.
for high-speed rail service in Martin County, and completing a federal grant application,
Yeah.
and then entering into an agreement with whoever answers the RFP.
Yes. So that's exciting.
I think so.
Yeah. We had a lot of people in the boardroom, residents come and speak about, that they would like to have Brightline here. So
Yep. I think people that were in the chambers today were very positive and confident about having a station in Martin County.
yeah.
So it was exciting.
I think it was super exciting. And then we had John Mayo. He's in the Environmental Resource Division in the Public Works Department.
Right.
He went over the water quality conditions and projects for water quality. And so that was really interesting.
I think so. I mean, Martin County water quality is just it's like part of our fabric, right?
Right.
You either live on the water, you make your living from the water, or you enjoy recreating on the water.
Yeah, I think, don't quote me, but I think I might be right on this. I think we have the most biodiverse ecosystem.
I feel like you read that somewhere,
I mean, it's in my brain. I'm just that smart.
or it's on your laptop screen.
Okay, fine. You caught me.
We do, though. We do.
Yeah. So, which is really cool. I mean, I think that's really fascinating.
It is. The seagrasses, the aquatic vegetation, the aquatic animals,
Yeah,
right here.
right here in Martin County.
So that was something interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
And for folks who missed the meeting, you can always catch those on our Facebook and Twitter, and of course, right here on YouTube.
Yes. And we can put those in the show notes if you want to have a link to where you can find that stuff.
Ooh, that was good.
Thanks.
I think we are at the time in the podcast where we're going to take a quick break, and then Courtney here is going to do an interview with Kherri Anderson from the Supervisor of Elections office.
Yes, super exciting.
Okay, so we'll be back.
Hey everybody, welcome back to 2MC. I'm here with Kherri Anderson
Hi.
from the Supervisor of Elections office. So Kherri, tell me what it is that you do.
So, Courtney, thanks for asking. A lot of people wonder, what is it that you do at the elections office? So, my role is Assistant Chief Deputy. In that role, my job is to do all the community outreach, to be out in our community, educating our public about what's going on with elections. Our students, as you know, they are the future of the process.
Yeah.
So we're always on our school campuses. Our wonderful partnership with our school district allows us to come out from our littlest ones at our elementary school level up to our high schools, where our high school students, as you know, they're the ones at 18, you can register and vote. But Florida law says at 16 and 17, you can pre-register to vote. Even though you can't actually vote, that means at 16 and 17, you can be an election worker if you wish. And we have many students who take part in that activity, and they receive school credit as an excused absence because they're working in the process.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so in addition to that, I also recruit and train all of our election workers. So for this election, we have a little over 315 election workers that are trained.
Wow.
Some are working now for early voting, and then we have them ready for election day.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes.
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
It's honestly, I have the best job in the office. I tell everyone, and Halloween will be my 19th year anniversary there.
Wow, that's awesome.
And so it's been a fun time every day, always a
Yeah.
new adventure.
In Martin County,
Yes.
early voting just started, right?
Early voting is off to an amazing start.
Yeah.
We started Monday, October 21st, and in the 2 days that we've had, we've done already over 10,000 voters
Wow.
between our 6 locations.
That's
So it's
impressive.
been amazing. Our
Yeah.
voters in Martin County, they vote. They're excited, they're ready, and they're turning out, which we love.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how long does early voting last for?
Great question. So early voting is for 13 consecutive days. It ends on November 2nd. And we also have Saturday and Sunday because we've been getting calls every day. Okay, you said 13 days, but does that include the weekends? Yes, and honestly, Sunday traditionally is always our quietest day because people don't think we're open. So we tell people, hey, if you really don't want to
Yeah.
line at all, and our lines, even though we've had them, have been really a minimal wait, come on Sundays because we are there on Sunday. So 13 consecutive days, ending November 2nd, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily.
Awesome. And you guys have a lot of different locations that people can go and early vote at, right?
We do. And the beauty of election day and early voting, there's a difference. But early voting, you can go to any early voting location. So if you're out shopping at the mall, even though you live in Indiantown and want to go to Jensen, you can. If you're in Hobe Sound and want to go to Palm City, you can. But our locations are the Hobe Sound Library, the Elisabeth Lahti Library in Indiantown, the Hoke Library in Palm City, the Robert Morgade Library, the Cummings Library, and the final location is the Elections Office on Martin Luther King.
So it sounds like you guys make it pretty convenient for Martin County residents to be able to go and vote.
We do. We do our best to make it convenient for our voters. So wherever you are, if you want to take advantage of early voting, you can get out there and do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So who can early vote?
Great question. Any registered voter can cast a vote early. So in the state of Florida, there are 3 ways you can vote. You can vote early, you can vote by mail, or on election day. One of the big questions we get about early voting is, if I've already requested a mail ballot, but I decide, you know what, I don't want to vote that mail ballot, is it okay for me to vote early or on election day? Most certainly you can. We just ask if you still have that ballot, bring it with you to the early voting site, and we'll take it from you and give you a ballot there. If you don't have it, not a problem. We'll just tell you if you find it, go ahead and destroy it, but we'll issue you a ballot for early voting. So yes, anyone who is a registered Martin County voter can cast a vote early.
That's awesome. So let me ask you, what is, like, on the ballot?
Yes.
It's there's a wide range of things that are on the
It's a
ballot,
big
right?
ballot. It's a 17-inch, two-sided ballot. So, yes, it's a big ballot. So it's federal all the way to the local level. And then remember, we have our 6 constitutional amendments that are on the ballot. And there are a couple, the town of Ocean Breeze, they also have, for their council, there's a race there. And Sewell's Point, they have some information on there for their residents. So it's a pretty big ballot.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, if I wanted to be able to read into kind of more of like what's on that ballot,
Sure.
you guys offer sample ballots, right?
We do, and sample ballots are a great tool for voters so that you can take your time, review it. If you have questions, do your research. You can go ahead and make your choices on that sample ballot, so whether you vote early or on election day, you can bring that sample ballot with you and copy the information over. We've got them available at all public libraries, at the county building, at the elections office, and you can even go on our website, martinvotes.gov, and you can get your precinct-specific sample ballot, so it just shows the information that you would be voting on instead of everything that's on the sample ballot.
That sounds super helpful.
Yes, it's a great way to help a voter so you know exactly what you're doing before you make your decisions.
Yeah, and it probably helps so that people can review it prior to going in. So that way they're not having to like read through everything.
Exactly.
Not have so much time in there.
Yes,
Yeah.
so you go in, you know what you're doing, it doesn't take you that long, and you're in and out.
What do people need to bring to vote?
That's a great question because a lot of voters, they come in to cast their vote, whether early or on election day, and they like to bring their voter information card. And we just remind voters it's strictly that, a voter information card. Just for your information, tells you how you're registered and where you vote. When you vote in person, whether early or on election day, we want signed photo identification. In the state of Florida, there are 12 forms of approved identification. It's also listed on our website. The most common form that most people bring is a driver's license or a state-issued ID. But there are 12 forms of approved identification, but what we're looking for is photo and signature ID.
Wow, that's awesome. So the vote by mail ballots. I know that you have to request those.
Yes.
So how does that process work?
So the process for requesting a mail ballot is very simple. Now, there was a change in legislation last year, and that change meant that before you could request for 2 election cycles. Now, you must request every election cycle. So that means if you requested in the last election, after that in 2022, all of those requests were wiped out, so you had to renew your request for 2024. And in December 31, all those requests will be wiped out and you'll have to re-request for 2026. So if you didn't renew your request and you're thinking, do I still have time to request a mail ballot? Because I just prefer that method, and that's your choice. Tomorrow, the 24th of October, is the last day to request a mail ballot. You can do it by picking up the phone, calling our office, 772-288-5637, or going online on our website, martinvotes.gov, and you can do the request online, and we'll get that ballot out to the mail to you. Another question, Courtney, about voting by mail.
Yeah.
Voters want to know, do I have to mail it back? Some voters don't. You do not. With early voting, we actually have secure ballot intake stations available at every early voting site between those hours. You can take that voted ballot, drop it off into that secure ballot intake station, or bring it to the elections office where there is a secure ballot intake station. And for early voting, it's during the early voting time frame and hours. Elections office, same thing, 8 to 5, drop it off and hand deliver it, or you can mail it, whatever your preference is. We just have to have it by Election Day, November 5th at 7 p.m.
So it sounds like you guys have it where it is so convenient for any way you want to vote.
Yes, it is. Whether it's by mail, in person, or early, whatever method is best for you, we want to make it as convenient for you. And we encourage our voters, if you have questions, you're not certain, that's why we're here. We work for the voters of Martin County. We're your resource for trusted information. Just reach out to us, and we're happy to answer any questions you have.
That's awesome. So is there anything else that you want to let the voters know about?
Sure. A lot of voters are concerned about the constitutional amendments. There's 6 amendments, and they're like, well, how do I find out information about those amendments? What we recommend is ballotpedia.org. It's Ballotpedia, just like Wikipedia, but Ballotpedia.
I love that.
It's a great nonpartisan website. It provides for you in plain language a 1-sentence explanation of what a yes vote is and what a no vote is and the groups who support it. And that tends to be a great resource when we get feedback from our voters. They are really appreciative that we've directed them there because it helps them. After looking at the long language, it's like, oh my gosh, you have to have a law degree.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I went to college and I still don't understand. Is this yes or no? But that really gives you a clear, plain language explanation so you can then in turn decide how you want to vote.
Awesome. Well, I think that that's everything that I had, and I did want to say you are our first interview. I know.
Well,
I know.
thank you for having us. It's been a great pleasure. It's like we love coming out and educating the community, and thanks for making us the first people. That's awesome.
Right? So I had a great time, and I appreciate you giving us all the information, and so that way our residents and voters can get all of that. And yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was a really great interview I had with Kherri. and I
Fantastic.
truly enjoyed it. She had a lot of information for everyone, and I think it was super beneficial and timely. So,
Thank you.
yeah, of course. No problem. I'm glad I could just, replace you, add a new person, then you're back.
And here I am.
So if you guys want to get any additional information, you guys can get that in our show notes because that's always helpful. And I think that's all we had for this week.
That's it. We're going to be back here next week with some great information, and as always, a lot of fun with Courtney and me.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys next time on 2MC.
Later.
Bye.